Dude, I knew I said it. I knew I said it. I'm like, you have all these people saying Echidna's best girl material. She's great. And I think after watching this episode, I think we can still like Echidna to an extent, but I don't think she's best girl material anymore. Because, yeah, what she said at the end was kind of freaking psychotic. Anyways, guys, this is Cam315, and I'm back at it with another video for you guys. And this is another ReZero Season 2 review. And I believe next week is the last episode of the first core, um, which is episode 13. Um, because I think a core goes up to 13 episodes. I'm gonna have to look it up, but definitely this summer season for anime is coming to an end. Like Sword Art Online, that ended, for the summer. That was one of the first animes to go out for the summer because we're getting to the fall anime and stuff like that. So yeah, and ReZero, man, Re freaking zero. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Most animes are actually ending this week for the summer animes. Like I know Food Wars, their series is ending. Rent a Girlfriend, there's well, the show is ending as well. Well, their season. I don't know if they're gonna get a second season, but we'll just have to find out. We'll just find out. Anyways, we're here. I'm here to talk about ReZero Season 2, Episode 12, where we get man, a lot in this episode, as well as kind of Echidna's true intentions on what she wants to do with Subaru, essentially. So let's get to it. This episode was titled The Witch's Tea Party. So we all know what happened last week. To say much, I wasn't really creeped out or literally scared this entire episode. Literally was probably much more better than last week because last week I was scared shitless. Like, I'm sorry. The Amelia thing kind of still gives me creepy nightmares. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. That was scary. Anyways, Subaru reawakens. He kind of sees Amelia, and this time he doesn't really freak out. He kind of says, "I will save you this time," and he's there for her. Essentially, he even goes on to say like he's gonna save everyone from the sanctuary up until the mansion, and stuff like that. So essentially, he's reliving through his rest of the night after all that incident happens, and he's thinking about the Rawls Wall situation and everything. And then after he tucks in Amelia for bed, he goes over to the sanctuary, and we don't know it, but he's actually taking a second trial. So, anyways, when he's calling out to Echidna and stuff like that, and he's asking to see her again. But then he kind of passes out, and then next thing you know, we see a reality. Um, After Subaru died the first time in this season, when he slit his throat after seeing Rem for the first time and tried to save her. And the thing is, you see, I keep forgetting the butler's name, but you see Amelia and Felix and the butler, Crucia's butler. Essentially, they do their best, and they're wondering like, why would he do this? Why would he do this and stuff like that, you know? And Felix is healing him, and they manage to close up the wound, but it's already too late, and they can't save him because his soul is already gone. Because we know, oh, his soul is in another vessel, his current vessel, and stuff like that. And Amelia actually ends off this entire thing by saying, "I thought you loved me." And this is when Subaru reawakens from that, and then he is just like, "What the hell was that?" Then he passes again. He passes out again, reliving another memory. And I forgot the phrase, but it says relive your past self or something like it was like relive your present past self or whatever. But then we just see it over and over and over and over and over again. One of the bigger scenes was the fact was we see the version after Puck turned into the gigantic cat evil thing, and he tried to freeze over the world because if anything bad happens to Amelia, he has to freeze the world on instant because their contract is done. And we actually see Reinhardt there, and Reinhardt kills Puck in order to save the world from being frozen to, nothingness and stuff like that. I do put in my notes, even though we later find out this is a second trial, but we can see that this is clearly having a psychological effect on Subaru's mind, and it's like, and at this point I was like, it feels like something like maybe what Amelia might be going through, and it's like, well, if looks like he's barely like getting through this, how will Amelia get past the second trial, man? Um, so yeah, and essentially going forward, you just see past alliterations of Subaru that have died in season one, and you just see just a quick, quick little discussions by characters, or quick little scenes after, he's died, and the reactions the people have to his deaths and everything. Like you see the one, you know, post reaction after Rem kills Subaru, and her and Ram are talking about it when they were still suspicious of him at that time and stuff like that. You see the whole they cut to the Beatrice thing after when Subaru was killed off the cliff and kind of got killed by the spikes. You see Ram give kind of a disgusting face and stuff like that, and you see Beatrice there rightfully in tears because she thought Subaru was that person to save her, or that person she was waiting for, and stuff like that, which we'll get into later. And just seeing all this, I was like, okay, so that's what, when in the opening, that's what they were showing. Um, it was pretty freaking crazy to say the least, just to see Subaru see those moments and just see the reactions to people, you know, he's died. Like you see the one, reaction of after I believe it was like when Subaru tried to stop Betelgeuse and he ended up dying because of it. You see, I forgot the one guy, the going purple haired knight. You see Felix and Amelia there, and Amelia even looks still distraught. And that's also the one thing too. Every time you see Amelia in these things, you see her distraught and disturbed and lonely, like we saw her last week and stuff like that. Because Subaru's told her all these things that he wants to do, and she's actually holding it to heart and stuff like that, and it actually affects her more than the next guy. Anyways, after that is all over with, he reawakens and he sees Rem, and I'm like, is this the soul of Rem coming here to comfort him and everything and stuff like that? And Rem's having a talk with him, and Subaru actually takes his time back, and he starts to realize and he starts to think like, damn, I really never considered to think about what the other people, about the what others think of me after I, kill myself or I end up dying and stuff like that. And you see the pain that he's going through. It's like, well, now when it's like when you look back at it, it's like, well, shit. Now you got to think about it. It's like, what if those alliterations or what if those realities of that timeline in Reason, or what do you think the people feel because of it? They obviously got to be heartbroken and stuff like that, you know. But then, as Rem's talking some more. It looks like Rem's going in for a kiss on Subaru, and I'm like, oh, are we gonna get the freaking highly anticipated Rem and Subaru kiss that so many Rem and Subaru shippers are shipping and stuff like that? I'm sorry for that. And then that's when Subaru kind of pushes her away, and he's like, "You're not the Rem I know. You're a fraud." And next thing you know, um, you know, the room kind of changes, and we see another girl, and we see that this is Carmilla, the Witch of Lust, which kind of makes it totally freaking sense because lust, and she was trying to kiss him in a way, as Rem. Now, um, the reason why, and Subaru asks like, why are you pretending to be Rem? And Carmilla actually says like, look, I just look like that, or just the image of me looking like your friend Rem is because it's what you want to see, and stuff like that. So that is pretty freaking interesting that Carmilla can actually change her appearance to somebody you know, or I guess are wanting desperately to see or talk to. That is very interesting. A very interesting, nice, deceptive little trick. Again, she is the witch of lust, so yeah. It's good that Subaru caught on, and the reason why he catches on is he says, Ren would never tell me just to sit, lay down, rest, and give up. She would tell me never to give up. She would always tell me to, keep going and stuff like that, which is what Rem always says. And that's why Subaru was like, yeah, you're not Rem. Because, and stuff, and things like that. And plus, I didn't even think Subaru would know that Rem wouldn't forcibly try to, kiss him and stuff like that. So, yeah, even though he knows that she loves him like that. So, anyways, what happens is, Carmilla actually says, well, it was what Echidna said she wanted to do and everything, and stuff like that. And yeah, now Subaru's like, so this is Echidna's doing, and he's walking close to Carmilla, and then, Echidna goes on to say, look, do not endanger your life if you walk up closer. Luckily, he gets back to the Microsoft Windows screen. And essentially, Echidna tells Subaru, by walking to Carmilla, you can forget to breathe in her presence, as well as your heart can also stop breathing. So it's not like she's not even deadly. It's funny that she's called the witch of lust. I'm guessing if you walk directly to her, you forget her, but if she walks up on you like that, then, her little, I guess, you forgetting to breathe won't work. It is an interesting thing, and it's like funny because all these witches have some kind of quirk to them, like, yeah, don't get near them, otherwise this will happen, and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, Echidna said, or goes on to say, look, I just brought you here because your mind would have essentially turned into mush if you just kept having to relive all your memories. And this is when she goes through the fact that this is the second trial. And essentially, the second trial puts Subaru in a world recreated from his memories. And Echidna says that he should focus on really the people he has saved and stuff like that, instead of the people he really hasn't saved, and stuff like that. Um, and this is when we get to the interesting part of this. And well, a quick thing to mention about the second trial, like I said, the second trial seems interesting. Like I said, it's like going back in time. Now I don't know if they'll show Amelia taking the second trial, but man, jeez, that might be hell for her. Anyways, we get to the whole main objective of this episode was the contractual situation between Echidna and Subaru. And Echidna actually tells Subaru, like, look, I'm actually willing to make you, you want to have a contract with me, like a formal contract with me. And Subaru asks her, like, what would this contract be about? And she goes on to say the contract would be if Subaru runs into an obstacle he can't overcome. When he's crushed by the weight of his sins, she'll give him that support to help him out with that, and answer the questions to the best of her knowledge. She'll find a way to deal with any problems he has, and even share in his return by death abilities. And essentially, Subaru's like, okay, this is going on, and it's like, okay. Now this is me watching. I'm like, okay, so she's able to give him like a little assist, like a co-op boost, and it's like, okay, um, I know there's probably nothing else to it, which, funny enough, the other witches when they start showing up get to point out and stuff like that, and things like that. Now he goes on to ask her, like, how do we make this contract? And the contract essentially, to have a formal contract with Echidna, there needs to be a bond between their souls. Now, and also, another thing is how they do that is they essentially just raise their hands up amongst each other and touch palms with each other. Now, the Witch of Wrath, who I forgot her name, actually shows up to stop the contract from getting started, and she tells Subaru, like, before you even make that contract, you do know Echidna's not telling you everything, in the contract she's stating, and it's like, oh yeah, of course. There's always another point to the contract, and it makes sense why Echidna doesn't tell Subaru, because especially what she goes on with a monologue, Yeah, and stuff like that. Um, the thing now, Akina goes into a little depth of what she later explains, and she says, one of the bad parts of this contract, and Akina says that, I just want all of you, Subaru, and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not very, well, suggestive. Anyways, we also see Carmilla actually show up here, and even Subaru's like, whoa, 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 wait a second. Can't you? I thought you guys were supposed to switch like bodies out and everything amongst each other. And Akina reveals, like, well, no, it doesn't work like that. They can show up whenever they want to. The thing is this: I just didn't. I just did that so they didn't try to take you from me and stuff like that. So we see that Akina really wants Subaru, all to herself because she is the Witch of Greed, you know. Um, anyways, Carmela actually shows up and even agrees with the Witch of Wrath and says, "Yeah, Echidna's not telling you everything and stuff like that." And Echidna's actually saying to Subaru, like, "Look, don't listen to these morons. Just trust me. We've been friends for this entire season." And stuff like that. Then we see the Witch of Sloth, Sycament, show up, and she's just kind of lazily going around. And the other, witches show up, Daphne and the one little girl. I forgot which crap. She's not the Witch of Glutton. I forgot that. I forgot the little girl one. Um, so, um, anyways, the thing is, you know, this is when Akina goes on her monologue about trying to convince Subaru to accept and make a contract with her, which, yeah, this starts the whole thing as like, I don't think Akina can be considered best girl material because the way she was talking to her was sounding absolutely crazy, insane. Um, she goes on to say that return by death, with the return by death, he can be able to achieve any desire he wants. And she'll be able to lend him, all the wisdom to fulfill his wishes. She's essentially saying like, listen, you can always come back to life over and over and over again. You can achieve whatever you want. You can have whoever you want. You can essentially just make your life whatever you want it to make, and if it doesn't work you can just kill yourself and have a complete do-over and stuff like that. um then she and as I'm watching this and even put down in my notes, I'm like, she's sounding like she just wants to just have Subaru as a just guinea pig and just use him for his powers more than she cares about Subaru. And again, she's the Witch of Greed. She'll want to use anything she can for her own greediness. And this is when we get to the crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Now, I didn't put everything she said, but just some mentions she says here is she says she can give Subaru whatever he wants and that he needs her. Um, and, she goes on to say that that Subaru is the only one that can satisfy her curiosity. Again, she's the Witch of Greed. She wants Subaru all to herself. Um, she also wants him to use his power to save her, and she goes on to mention that she can't control her greed. Again, and then this is and the ending part of this whole discussion. She's going on in some sort of way as it's crazy because the way she's talking is like some kind of obsessive, love thing. Which she mentioned, she's like, I'm like, which they do this amazing panel here, where in the episode where they show like one she's like talking like all kind of thing, but behind you see the true face where she's smiling all like evil, like looking all crazy and everything. And I'm like, oh god, yeah, she's not somebody you can trust. Which I knew it. I knew it. I told myself, see, you cannot trust her. You cannot trust her. Did people listen? Well, yes. And I know she looks like an innocent girl, and like I'm not gonna lie, she is good looking. Would some people actually just give in and become simps for her? I'm not gonna lie, probably a lot. But after seeing this, and I'm like, yeah, I would definitely not work with her, or definitely not make a contract with her. I mean, and like I said, it's I'm like when she's talking, they did it crazy. They did it crazy. The way they did this was really good. And like I said, it sounds like she's doing this because she's like in love, in love or love struck or crazy in love with Subaru. And the funny thing at the end of her statement is she's saying, "Oh, this is like a vow of my love. Wait, no, this is a vow of love." And essentially, she goes on to say, "Look, I'm just doing all this because I love you. I'm doing this all because out of my love." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not sus enough." Anyways, she asks her like, "So, are you going to agree with my thing?" And she pulls up the little tea parties, table stuff. And Subaru's like, "Look, I can't agree because it sounds insane. Like, bruh, you're only using me for, my power, and you're just using me. You're not using me because of how I feel about other people and stuff like that." And he even goes on to say, like, her attitude is so infantile and shallow. And he goes on to say that she is incapable of understanding how others feel because she only cares about her own thing because she's greedy like that. And Subaru is like, "Listen, based on this next answer will make me decide if I agree to your contract or not." And this is when Subaru asks, Echidna about Beatrice. And, you know, this is when we really get the sadistic side of Echidna, and it's like, okay, you're just wrong for that. And essentially, Echidna, Subaru asks Echidna, like, did you know the person Beatrice is waiting for? And Echidna's like, "Oh, yes, I did make a contract with Beatrice, but yeah, no, I don't know who that person might be. And it was only up to Beatrice to decide herself if if the person she's looking for is that person." And then when I saw her, that I was like, so you're telling me she could have just chose anybody to be that person she's waiting for the entire 400 years. So for those 400 years, she was essentially just sitting there doing nothing, and she could have had her own free will of choice to see that, oh, this is the person I believe is going to be that person to help me. The person I see who's that person, and stuff like that. And Subaru, he's starting to get pissed, and he's like, how could you do all that? And, he's like, what are your feelings towards all of this that you just told me? And Akina's like, "I think it's wonderful that's all happening." And after hearing that, I'm like, dude, that's just fucked up, bro. You don't even care about Beatrice. You just made a contract just to make a contract with her and stuff like that. And, after that, Subaru's like, "Yeah, no, that's gonna be a hard pass. I am not doing a contract with you." And then that's when Echidna's like, "Really? Hmm." Then the skies get all dark in the Window EXP world. And is she about to, like, I don't know, bring the wrath of witches on him now? But the sky gets dark. All the other witches are talking like, "Uh oh, trouble's here. Great." And then the little girl one is like, "Oh, Tella's here. Hey, Tella." And next thing you know, Subaru turns around and you see it at the witch's tea party. Satella is back. And she kind of gives like a little, quick little smile. So, oh my god, Satella is here and I don't know what to feel anymore, bro. Dude, they're gonna leave us on a cliffhanger, and I'm not ready, man. I cannot wait. And they're telling me I have to wait till next year in January to get ReZero again. Ninja, get the. Ah! This episode was really good. We get the true revelations of Echidna's character here, and like I said, if I don't watch reactions or reviews by people saying, "Yeah, I think I'm not gonna consider Echidna best girl anymore. She's not on my side," um, I will humbly admit I like Echidna, but I can't get behind her now. I wouldn't even agree to a contract if you're hearing all that stuff. Like I said, unless you're a simp, like, are you crazy for her, then yes, you'll make that contract. But the morally common, regular person will be like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to make that contract," especially knowing that you're just using people in your contracts. And we don't even know what Satella's gonna do next week. Is she gonna even speak? Is she going to do something? Is she gonna reveal? Is she gonna take off her hood and be like, "Come with me, Subaru," and stuff like that? I just don't know, man. Next week, like I said, next week I believe is the last episode of the first core, and then we are going on ReZero break till 2021. And yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts about this episode. Are you on the Echidna Best Girl bandwagon again, or now, or did you jump off of it? As well as what's your thoughts on Satella showing up. Again, do not post spoilers in the comment section regarding what happens furtherly going on ahead. Again, I'm only an anime only, and I want to be blind going forward. And then hit that subscribe button to get more ReZero content. I will say the next anime I am going to be reviewing, every freaking week is going to be Is It Not Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 3 or Daimachi Season 3. I will be reviewing that. I don't know if I'm going to be reviewing that one rock climbing girls anime. I might check it out, and if it seems interesting, I might review it. We'll see. But yeah, like I said, the summer anime is coming to an end, and man, it's gonna be something when we get into the fall anime. But I'll say this: the winter anime is stacked. Winter anime is about to be stacked. We get ReZero, Shield Hero 2, Doctor Stone. It's over. It's over. Like I said, the fall season of anime might be, a little bit dipped down. I know there's like Jujutsu Kaisen coming out. I haven't watched that. I don't know if I'll check it out. But like I said, the fall anime doesn't look like it's gonna be stacked up as much as this past summer, and what the winter is gonna be. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm just gonna get out of here. So, yeah. So till then, guys, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later. So, peace.